Okay, going outside the front door late of the night, as soon as I come out. See how even the tiniest little cars have these bright lights on the back? There's a plane going around. You have continual sound of aeroplanes, like every minute you have a plane. Every 60 seconds you have a plane sound. And really it's every 30 seconds because the sound continues for 30 seconds as it goes over, and usually you'll have another one not as loud, but it's a continual sound system. This is late of a night now, so, and also some nights even on this dead-end street, basically it's all staged and set up, so you've always got, if I wasn't on this street, if I go down to the corner, you end up with, I can hardly stand up because you end up gaslighted by the lights, literally, to where you can't see in front where you're walking, and the headlights are flashing. Flashing lights are hypnotising and human mind disorientating. This is a fact, especially if it's done every minute. In other words, wherever you look, you'll see bright headlights and bright flashing lights wherever you look. So basically that becomes your reality, to where this sight and sound program takes over your real world around you. Because if you've got excessively loud vehicles, where every vehicle is 10 times louder than normal, and it's not natural at all, but it is to disorientate you. See, I'm disorientated, but this is just outside where I am. That's a small, not loud plane. The big jet's coming over, which I have had for the last hour or two, and before that you have the stage set up sound program on the street, and this is everywhere you go, and this is the quietest you get of a night time inside your place or just outside the front door, because this is a very small, quiet, dead-end street, supposedly, because there's only a few houses on it, but instead you have construction on it every day of the year. And that's an exaggeration, but actually it's not. If you really counted it, like apart from a few public holidays, and these are all patrol cars too that come around, but because it's a small dead-end street and it's after dark, you won't get like massive numbers like you get when I go down the corner. It starts up, because they're like, oh, if it's a street, a proper street or a proper road. See, that plane just went through that light there, but I missed it. But I'm not going to film anymore, I don't think, anyway, because I haven't got much mobile space and there's nothing to show. I would like to be not so disorientated that I could take the mobile down and film how disorientating it is, but also you can't show everywhere your senses with the mobile. You can show some things, but you can't show that it's a continual sight and sound takeover of your senses and therefore your mind. In other words, you have no reality except what these android beings are presenting to you around. And if I wasn't recording, it would be more intrusive even now, because don't forget, they see and hear through your eyes because you have the transhuman connection. Most people are not conscious of this. They're not aware that they're always being watched and that they're literally part of a anti-life, anti-human program. It's only when they completely become where you're aware, so they have to, in other words, where you become aware of them, even if it's only a small amount. Here comes a jet for me. And even the jets and the planes are flashing their lights. Now, why are all the vehicles and all the trucks, all the cars, all the bikes, even massive numbers of footpath bikes flashing their lights? That's because flashing lights are hypnotizing, disorientating and mind controlling, and they're very disturbing, and they take your focus and they actually make you off balance, which is like I am now, because I've been conditioned to this for years now. It eventually builds up and takes over you, whereas you try to ignore it, but you can't ignore what's always in front of you. See how there's a plane going right directly through that light there? The mobile is not close enough to pick it up, but you become completely sensitized to excessive bright flashing lights, excessive unpleasant technical sounds, and also to the awareness that you're always surrounded